What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Plant Powered Dad Hour Season 2. 2 in the house. So listen, it's been a little bit, but we're back and we're better than ever. A little bit less hair, a little bit different, glasses. Actually, I rotate, Gabriel. I have blue glasses. I don't know where they are though now. Wait. This is important. I need to show you this, Gabe.
These are the things that our viewers have come to see. Hey,
blue glasses.
I like it.
So yeah, these are my lean green dad glasses though. I have to leave them on for that. How you doing, man?
I am doing great. I'm doing great. It's it's kind of that point in the farming season or gardening season where it's so hot that only a few things can grow, and you want to get out there when it's not hot. And so, things are going good. Get up at 5 a.m., work till about 10:30, and then, maybe head out there at 7 and work a little bit more. But it's going great. Bridget's doing great. Dr. Miller is getting ready to head back to physical campus, but head back to like an online teaching her classes. And so,
nice.
It's doing good. Bridget and me, Dr. Miller, we try to go to the beach and eating fresh food from the garden. Life is good, my friend.
Good. Well, I think that we're all adjusting, right? We've had a couple episodes in the past about, the current situation in the world right now, and we don't know how long we're going to be here. So we hope, guys, that these episodes can at least bring you a little bit of, hey, we're here for you, right? We're here for you. We're here to support you. We're here to give you some ideas. Heck, we might talk about some other things that just like run off on tangents, but that's what we're here for.
That's right.
Gosh, we always start off the show with kind of talking about the last thing that we ate, okay? And with me, usually it's like a piece of toast or something, but I got a good one today, Gabe.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, so today I had a giant sweet potato that I made in the crock pot, or the Instant Pot, okay? And so I sprinkled just a little bit of cinnamon on top. That was it. That was the main meal. And then I also had a salad that I kind of threw together with everything I had in the fridge. And I can't remember because there was a lot of things, but I know there were tomatoes. I know it was romaine. I know there was like some, I don't know what the dressing was, but it was a really good dressing that my wife made. So I can't even tell you what it was. And then there was some salt and pepper and celery, carrots. Oh yeah, whole baby carrots. Ooh, it was good.
Hey, anyways, it sounds good.
I feel really full. I feel really
well, it sounds a little bit more filling than a piece of toast, but yeah. I'm no expert on toast. That's you.
I just, my toast recently, I think in the last few days has been like peanut butter with blueberries on top. That's been my go-to toast. But I'm trying to take a little better care of myself and not getting so excited to get to work in the morning and forget to eat. And just by accident, intermittent fasting.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you, man? What's the last thing you ate?
Man, I've got some. Well, here I've got a little bit of a show and tell to give everyone. I know a lot of people have been asking me kind of what's going on with the garden and everything, or what we're doing. And so what I've been doing today. So I haven't been eating much. I did eat breakfast or a later breakfast. I do get up at like 5 and have a bowl of oatmeal. But we are making some tomato sauce right now in the pressure canner. And so this was one that was made in early July. And so I've been making that. But the last thing I ate was breakfast bars. So oats, a gluten-free flour mix that we make. Not that we're gluten-free, but it just so happens it's got oat flour, buckwheat flour. It does have rye, and so it is have some gluten. But so a flour, and then mix it together with a little bit of maple syrup, some almond milk, and we throw some cinnamon and actually mash up a banana, and it's really good. It's like a banana bread breakfast bar, and we've had that for the past 3 or 4 days straight. So that's really good, and it's going good. Here's a few more things I wanted to
show us.
To show. Well, actually, Corey, what are we going to talk about today? Because these might fit into what we're going to talk about today.
All right, we'll talk about it. Hey, question though, before you do, do you do overnight oats or not so much?
Yeah, I've got an overnight oat recipe in the book. I just, the only thing is, and some people like it, but if I want my oats to be kind of soft and kind of that kind of soft, really cooked feel, I prefer steel cut oats. Just the texture and kind of, they still contain a little bit of a bite once they're cooked, and I'll cook those in the Instant Pot for 10 minutes. But if I'm going to do like rolled oats, I normally cook them pretty quick, so they still have some texture, or like I do in the mornings, and like Dr. Esselson has done for, I don't know, probably like 40 years. I just put some soy milk or some almond milk and a little bit of maple syrup and maybe some berries or some cacao powder, and mix it in, and some cinnamon, and mix it in with some raw oats, rolled oats, and then they still have their bite. And after a few minutes, they kind of soften. And so, but yeah, overnight oats is great, and it works for a lot of people. I'm just not, I'm just not a huge eater of it.
Me neither. I like my oatmeal hot, but
okay, yeah,
that's just me. I can't stand steel cut oats. I don't know why. I just can't stand them. I just want rolled oats all the time. All right. So today, folks, we are talking about pantry essentials. Okay, and I know this is not the pantry raid episode. Which, if you want to see what's actually in our pantries, you can go and you can see that. I just like threw this on Gabriel. I was like, look, go to your pantry, grab the first 5 things you see. Right. And so we just kind of show and tell the first 5 things that were in our pantries. But no, today we're talking about building the foundation. Okay. So if you are, I don't want to say stuck at home. If you are at home, and let's say happy at home, if you're happy at home, all right, and you're not going to be going out to dinner, which is not a bad thing, folks, not a bad thing. Okay. Yep. You got to have your pantry ready. You got to be stocked. You got to be locked and loaded and ready to go. Okay. So the things that we're going to talk about today are things that not only Gabriel and I have in our pantries right now. In fact, we kind of joked that we both have about 25 pounds or so of rice in our possession. And it's true, because if we needed to, we could totally survive off of, rice and beans or potatoes,
I mean, it's not a if we have to, it's the fact that we do survive off of rice and beans here at the Miller household. So it's
true. It's the truth. But anyways, we're going to help you build this. Okay. We're going to give you some ideas. We're going to throw you all the things, whether it's like the non-starchy vegetables, the dry goods, what you should have in the fridge, what you should have as far as liquids and spices and fruit. And I am taking this all from page 17 of Gabriel's book, which is Plant-Based Diet for Beginners. So if you don't have it, go check it out.
I'm tuned in too.
There it is. You got it. I got it right here. I'm right here. So this is going to guide our journey today as we talk through these things. And then a little bit later, I'll fill you in and tell you about the Lean Green Meal Plan, which just launched not that long ago. So more on that later. Let's dive in. Show me the show and tell, and then let's fly through some of these items and let's
all right.
help people.
So dry goods are going to be the bulk of your, it doesn't have to be the bulk, but it's going to be the bulk of your caloric pantry staple stock. Mm-hmm. That's for a lot of reasons. One, it's shelf stable. And so, you don't have to necessarily worry about it going bad quickly, like you would maybe some sort of refrigerated or, refrigerated things. I get people call me out for saying refrigerated, but so we're going to go look at bulk items, and there are dry staples also, because they're also going to be a lot cheaper. So you're going to be able to buy them in bulk. And it's not necessarily the idea of, I've got to have 100 pounds of this or that because, we're going to have to go into a shelter. It's the fact that, hey, if you're going to eat 100 pounds or, 25 pounds of rice, your family's going to eat 25 pounds of rice over the next 60 days, why not get it for half the price? Because you're able to buy a month or 2 months worth instead of going to the store and buying a little baggie of it here and there. And so that's the option. But what we're going to start with are some of our simple starchy staples, which can be found as dry staples. And one of those is, of course, going to be rice. And that's not something I have a show and tell of, but we have brown rice stocked up, ready to go. If you're someone who thinks, well, how much do I need? Really? Well, if you imagine, depending on how much your family eats, but it's not a bad idea to have a 5-gallon bucket size worth of rice there. Your family's probably going to go through it, if it's like our family, in around a couple months. And so we just like to have that on hand. We're never out of rice. It's always a positive thing to have. On top of that, beans go right along with that, rice and beans. And so here is a show and tell. These are fava beans that we grew here on the farm. Wow. And so, you can rehydrate these and make a wonderful soup, but they make great hummus. But fava beans are great. And then here is, I wasn't even going to pull this out, but here is a couple gallons of dried peas. So for like things like split pea soup, or pea soup, we grew peas for that. So you don't have to grow your own staples, of course, but having some beans and rice in your pantry, the ultimate vegan pantry is going to have the beans and rice. Whether or not that's going to be where you get the bulk of your calories from, that's okay. You know, you can't, we get the bulk of our calories from it. But even if that's not where you're getting the bulk of your calories, it is smart to have those stocked and ready to go in your pantry.
Yep. And I will just say, small, fun little tip here. I'm sure you do this too, but I cook my brown rice in veg broth, and it gives it such a rich taste. Like, you could totally do water and it tastes great, but I like doing it in the Instant Pot too, you know, 22 minutes set on high kind of thing. If I'm just like drop and go, take the kids into the bath and get them all cleaned up and then come back and it's ready. So that's something to think about. And then I know, guys, we talk a lot about brown rice, but we don't really mention its brother or sister, whatever you would call it, white rice, right? And the reason is, like, you know, to me, and Gabe, you can, like, you know, lean in on this too. It's like, it's not that I hate or don't like white rice. It's just the way that it converts in the body, A, is just not what I would want. And then B, I want the fiber and I want the protein and I want the whole grain, you know, and that's why I choose to eat brown rice. It's not that I have something against white rice. It's just that I can up my nutritional game just by making that small adjustment. Yeah.
Yeah. And just to be clear, we had white rice here at home yesterday, cooked up in the pressure cooker, the Instant Pot.
Yeah.
And so I'm not anti, you know, white rice here. But personally, if you ask me, I prefer the taste and flavor of brown rice better. It's going to be a little bit more nuttier, a little bit more complex in flavor. And like you said, it's the whole food. But ladies and gentlemen, again, there's been people in populations for thousands of years who have eaten a diet built around white rice and lived long, healthy lives without being plagued by the chronic diseases that are running rampant in our modern world, like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. And so you can eat white rice. If you prefer it, go for it. Like my sister, she's like, I can't stand brown rice. It's like, okay, have white rice. Just as long as you don't put butter on it, or you don't put oil in it, and you don't, you know, raise the fat up, you know, 1,000% by using some sort of processed or, you know, high fat, you know, condiment, it's great. So
all right,
there you go.
I love it. Let's fly. Okay, so as we're looking at the list in the book here, we talked about beans, brown rice. You've got that. Okay, there's also different types of rice: basmati, jasmine. There's long and short grain. Chickpeas, you need to have those. Lentils, oats, we talked about that in the past episodes. We've talked about, and Gabriel has educated me on, I got it right here, man. Page 17.
I'm just reading it with you.
Yeah, he has educated me on the fact that your oats should probably be organic, especially if you can eat a ton of them, because, you know, just trust us on that. You can Google that.
Yeah, you're going to have less glyphosate exposure, just a commonly sprayed pesticide on wheat, rye, oats, a lot of those grain crops.
And we can't forget about quinoa, split peas, as Gabriel showed us, and of course the whole grain pasta, which I love brown rice pasta, believe it or not.
Hey, that works great too. So. And when we say pasta, pasta's a very versatile. You know, you can get, like I have it in there, angel hair shell, spaghetti, you know, fettuccine noodle, a lot of different noodles. We recommend whole grain in there, but really, if you're looking to stock your pantry up and do it inexpensively, now this is a higher calorie food, a little bit more so on the calorie density scale. If you're at a healthy body weight, your family really enjoys pasta, that is what it is. But you can really fill up your pantry with some boxes of pasta and feel pretty good about that. And you know, go to the grocery store once every couple months and do that if you needed to. You can go once a week; it doesn't matter. But again, if you find a good deal on it, you find some high quality product there, that really does make a good difference.
All right. Hey, everybody. What's going on? Thanks so much for tuning in to the Plant Powered Dad Hour. I want to share my screen and bring you a couple quick things that are resources just for you. So on the right there, you're going to see the Lean Green Meal Plan. And for more information, you can go to the leangreenmealplan.com to learn more about how you can get started on your plant-based journey. And the cool thing is no matter where you're at, if you're just starting off and you want to try some of the meat alternatives out there, or if you want to do a whole food plant-based diet, we try to make it as easy as possible with recipes you can do in 15 minutes or less. And on the left, what do we got, Gabriel?
Well, we have, and you can stop the share screen. You can just show me up here, but we have the plant-based diet for beginners. you know what? It's a $10 book. It's the book, it's the resource, it's the recipes that I wish I would have had as I was adopting a whole food plant-based diet, losing 100 pounds, regaining my health. And it's the recipe, the information, the book that I wish I would have had as I was helping my family, my parents, my loved ones, family and friends adopt a whole food plant-based diet and regain their health. And so you can check it out on Amazon. It's out there. It's got almost 1,500 reviews, I think, so far. And so it has been properly vetted. Go check it out. And now back to the show.
All right, I'm gonna fly through some of these veggies because we got a big list to go through, okay? But I'm gonna fly through them. The biggest thing for me, you know, and Gabriel has it split up like starchy and non-starchy, okay? And when I think starchy vegetables, what do you think of, folks? Potatoes, okay? And there's lots of different types of potatoes, and you can prepare them in tons of different ways, all right? So one of the best ways that I love making them is what I talked about today, and that's sweet potatoes in the Instant Pot. Very easy. You can make them in bulk just like Gabriel does, and you can have them all the time. And you can also make an ice cream out of them. That's one of my favorite Gabriel recipes, okay? And then in addition to that, you've got your russet potatoes, which are also a fave of mine because I can make a mean, creamy baked potato soup. And then you can call it a loaded baked potato soup and just load all of your favorite whole food plant-based toppings that you want. And just make it really just that home feeling of having that baked potato soup just makes you feel so good. Okay. Even try, I'm looking at the list here and I'm like, oh, corn would be excellent to throw in your loaded baked potato soup if you want.
That's right. Put some sweet.
So,
and Corey, can I just say this, Corey?
Please.
You know, when we're looking at page 17 here, and maybe we could take a picture and add it to the comments, or we can put it up on the screen. But when we're talking about
permission from the author to do that,
yeah, I'll ask. I know a guy.
Okay.
But when we're looking at the dry good, when we're looking at the pantry essentials, we're really breaking it down into a few things here on this the beginning. It's dry goods, and then you've got your starchy staples. And when I say starchy staples and dry goods, what we're talking about is this is where you're going to get the bulk of the calories. Now we're going to get to the non-starchy veggies, the fruit, some canned goods, some liquids, some spices, some refrigerator, freezer. You know, there's a lot of different things there. But when we go from this list, what we're going to really talk about calorically, or what you're going to build the majority of your diet around, the bulk of your plate. If you look at your plate, where the most food is going to be in that dry good or those starchy staples, because that's where you get your calories. Now, wonderful thing about these foods are they are high in fiber and lower in calories than, say, animal foods or processed foods that normally you might be getting your calories from on a standard American diet. But these are where you're going to be building your calories from. So when we're talking about corn, we're talking about peas, we're talking about squash or sweet potatoes or potatoes, we're talking about foods that we're really going to be able to build our meal around, and not as, say, these standard traditional American diet would be having those as side dishes, right? So this is going to be a main dish type foods.
Yeah, get rid of that animal-based protein that's taking up 75% of your plate, and the other 25% being, French fries.
French fries, and then your two vegetables of the day: French fries dipped in ketchup. Here's one thing I wanted to show, Corey. One last show and tell is this. These are all from the farm. So this is potatoes. This is a Yukon Gold potatoes we grew on the farm. I've got green beans that we grew on the farm, and then onions I grew on the farm. And so that is pressure canned in for, we're not eating them now because, I mean, they're delicious, and I have dug into a few. But these are your winter, it's a cold day. You don't get anything from the garden. Well, you can pull this out of your pantry, your cellar, and you've got potatoes, green beans, and onion right out of the farm. That is that right there. I'm excited to open up. I'm not excited for the cold weather, but I am excited for that greens, beans, and potatoes.
There's a song about that, a rap song.
I know, green beans. It's not greens, beans. This is actually green beans, potatoes, and onions. Yeah. Yes,
potatoes and onions. Yeah.
Now so we've got our dry goods, Corey. We've got our starchy vegetables. We got our calories. We got the caloric needs. Now, do we just eat? Do we just live off of beans and rice, or can we add in some vegetables and fruit?
Yeah, I want some fruit in my life. In fact, I got a whole, bottom of my fridge that whole, I forget what drawer it is, but you know how they're labeled, like the drawers are labeled like fruits and veggies by, I guess, condensation that you allow in and out. Well, my fruit, compartment is full of Honeycrisp apples, just full of it. And then I also have 2 grab and go. So I've got my blueberries and I've got my raspberries, and I can and they're both organic, of course.
Good,
And
good.
I will drop those like all over my oatmeal, just like rains blueberries. And sometimes there's more berries and fresh fruit than there is oatmeal, and I have no problem with that.
Hey,
So yeah,
that works.
yeah, that's how I roll. As
One
far as
so
fruit,
one thing we do have on here is our non-starchy vegetables, and this is where I get asked a lot of
oh, yeah,
questions by folks, is because they see, oh, Gabriel, I see you're eating a lot of rice or sweet potatoes, or you eat a lot of bean burgers, or eat your starchy staples, but do you ever eat vegetables? Do you
what?
ever eat vegetables, Gabriel? And
No.
because a lot of the foods I eat, it doesn't have a bunch of vegetables on it. And to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, the majority of my calories, the majority of my plate, and the majority of what I eat is going to be your rice, your beans, your oats, your corn, your quinoa, your potatoes, your sweet potatoes, with the addition of some sort of non-starchy vegetable, right? But it's not. It doesn't. I don't lose sleep over not eating a salad before dinner. Now salads are great, and so are Brussels sprouts, and so is putting some cabbage or cauliflower or broccoli. But the bulk of my diet is going to be around there. But with that being said, it is smart to stock your pantry. But I would say this would go into the freezer and or the yeah, more so your freezer, your fresh goods that might go into your refrigerator, but have those non-starchy vegetables around. Have some Brussels sprouts, have some cauliflower, some cucumbers, some celery, some eggplant, because you're always going to be able to spice things up with that. But again, that's a part of the ultimate vegan pantry, but it's not where you're going to get the majority of your calories.
I mean, as I look at this non-starchy vegetable list of asparagus, bell pepper, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, celery, cucumber, eggplant, all this stuff. A lot of this stuff for me does go in the freezer. Okay, especially
Okay.
like I'm a dad of 3 kids, and so I've got to have food that's ready to go. So oftentimes I will have the pre-cut frozen broccoli that is
Yep.
ready to go, and I'll throw it in the skillet. Sometimes I'll pop it in the microwave for 4 minutes, whatever, and it steams in the bag. I know that's not ideal for a lot of the time, but again, guys, the fact is my
It's
kids are
cheap,
eating,
quick, and still
they're
healthy.
eating broccoli. My kids are eating broccoli,
Yep.
so it's a good thing. My 5-year-old thinks that it gives him Hulk muscles. We've talked about that in the past, and
Yep.
it's true. He flexes like crazy, so he gets it. But using your freezer is always a good thing. Yo, Gabriel, is it true that like onions emit some kind of like gas that will actually ripen something like super quick? Same thing with tomatoes. Like, so you need to keep those boys separate from like other stuff. Is that true?
Yeah. So it's not like, oh my gosh, it's going to ruin everything. It just ripens them a little quicker. But a good tip is, if you do have a bunch of bananas that you want to get, like, you're like, your ice cream fix, you need it. And you ran out of bananas in your freezer, and you're just, going up the wall, and you have bananas that are a few days away. You could put them in a brown paper bag and stick a onion in there, fresh onion. And hypothetically, it could help get those to ripen up a little bit quicker. And
Okay.
so, yeah, there is a little bit of science in the
Keep them away.
in the idea behind that. But yeah,
I
that's
isolate them. Get away,
yeah.
stay away. All right. So we can move into fruits. Is that cool?
Yeah, go for it.
Do you have all these fruits? Like, do you have kiwi on hand all the time?
So these are options based on, this is a book that is around the world, and so didn't want to just make it, just Americanized. But these lists, we'll just go ahead and say this: these lists of things, when it's like your starchy vegetables, for us, it's peas, sweet potatoes, right? Yeah. Or dry goods, it's black beans, brown rice, oats. So it's not like I've got every single one of these, but go ahead and figure things out that you want there. When it comes to fruits, I'll be honest, and Dr. Miller, my wife, if you're tuning to season 2, and that's my wife, she's a professor, a college professor. But if it was up to her, we probably would have a lot more of the fruits in the house. But I'm a simple guy. I'm just a simple man. I like to go to the store and buy 30 pounds of bananas and call it a day, and then come home. Or we'll go and pick up actually, we got watermelon that are ripening here on the farm. And so this week will be the first week that I can take a watermelon from our farm to the beach instead of picking one up from the farmer's market. But basically, realistically, it's bananas for us. It's bananas.
Literally.
How about you? Are you
Okay.
a connoisseur of the multiple types of fresh fruit, or?
Yeah, so you know that I love dates. In fact, I'm known for consuming too many dates. But you know, I don't have a goal of like specifically trying to watch my weight right now. So I can eat some dates. Like I will crush some dates. I just
Yeah,
love eating
yeah.
them just by themselves. All right. So I always have dates on hand. I talked about my apples, bananas. I always have massive bunches. Berries are always frozen. And as far as citrus goes, I start my morning with a lemon water with
Okay.
a tiny dash of cayenne pepper in it,
Hey,
and that lights me up. I
fancy.
feel I feel good. I feel good in the morning. I'll take like a probiotic pill just for fun, like just to kind of keep things going, even though I don't need it, but I still take it and it's fun. And yeah, no, I love it. I have this stuff. Golden kiwis are my preference. I prefer the golden
We like
kiwis rather
those.
than the
Yeah.
green. But yeah, it makes for good stuff. I'm
Well,
gonna
hey,
be honest.
Corey.
I
Corey,
don't think. Go
go
ahead. I
ahead.
don't think we're gonna make it through this entire
Well,
list.
here's what I'd like to end on, at least end our pantry, our ultimate vegan pantry, or our ultimate plant powered pantry,
Yeah.
is on something that you can eat beans and rice like my family does. That's all we eat: beans, rice, potatoes, corn, sweet potatoes. Right? That's what we eat. We eat, and we love it. And it's things that we can grow on the farm. So it's great in that aspect. And we eat bananas, and we eat the fruits, and we eat the non-starchy vegetables. But you can't there's a lot of people who get into this, and there's going to be some plant power families that are saying, or plant power dads that are like, all right, I'm going to cook dinner for it, and it's going to be whole food plant based, and it's going to taste great, it's going to be SOS free, or I'm going to it's going to be healthy, we're going to change new. And if you omit this very critical section right here, the
Uh-oh. Ooh.
spices section, if you omit the spices, guys, it's not gonna be good. And so whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, there are spices that you should and need to use to make a healthy, whole food, plant-based diet and lifestyle easy, enjoyable, and long-term effective. And so do not forget the black pepper, the chili powder, the cinnamon, the cumin, the curry powder, the garlic powder, the ginger, the nutritional yeast, the onion powder, the oregano, the paprika, sage, salt-free seasonings. There's a ton of different blends out there. The thyme, the turmeric. And when you are at the table, not when you're making a recipe, because it's going to be diluted and you're going to lose all the flavor and all the saltiness of it. But when you are at the table, do not be afraid, unless your doctor is like, but do not be afraid to take that salt shaker and put it on the top layer of your food. You're going to use so small an amount to get the taste of salt because it's on the top layer, that layer that hits your taste buds right away. Use the salt at the table. Use the seasonings and spices while you're cooking because they have a lot of added health benefits. So realistically, a lot of those spices, the more you use, the better. So it's not you only want to use a little bit. But with the salt, use it at the table. And you've got the ultimate plant-powered vegan pantry. And, it's not like you're set up for the next, we'll be able to we'll be able to drag through that for the next 3 days, or man, those 10 days, we can do it. This works, people, for the next 40, 50, 60 years. So, and beyond. Your children can adopt this and say, you know what? I loved eating that way. I feel great. I look great. I want to do this long term. So we're talking 40, 50, 60, 100 years of the ultimate plant-powered vegan pantry. And it's very simple. It's very easy. And you just get the hang of it. Find what you like and stick with it. Try some new things. Stick with them. Enjoy it and have fun with it. And man, it's I love this way of eating. I've never felt better. My family's never felt better. I know your family's it's amazing what this way of eating can do. You're going to save money on your groceries. You're going to, it's just on and on and on we can go, but keep it simple. Find your favorite pantry staples, build your own vegan, plant-powered ultimate pantry.
Mic drop, people. That's it. That's what it's all about. Listen, if you want to find out more about this list, like Gabriel is the author of this book, so he will totally put a picture of some of the things that we talked about in a comment. So if you're watching this, just look below in the comments. You'll see something from Gabriel or Plant Power Dad Hour on Facebook. You can also, go find us over at Plant Based Gabriel or Lean Green Dad on our social channels. You can also go to plantpowerdadhour.com. It'll just send you back to the Lean Green Dad podcast, which is where our home is. And gosh, that's it, folks. We'll see you next time. It's a great start to season 2. We're so honored, so happy to have you here. And as we always say, let us know if there's anything you want us two dads to talk about. We'd love to hear your suggestions, your comments. And if you've made it through the episode all the way to the end, you're the best. You rock.
And since you've done that and you've enjoyed it, please, if you can, and if you feel so inclined that you think that this would be helpful to others, go ahead and share this post. Share it to your family and friends. Share it to your social media pages, and hit that like button, because the more likes and shares that we get, it doesn't just make us feel good and feel loved, right? It actually helps more people get to see the post, and that's what it's all about. And when you do that, you don't know what lives or whose lives you really can change with this information. And so go change some lives. Like and share this post.
Love it, guys. See you soon.